Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down the anime that have long since become reviled the world over. Keep in mind, we're not saying we personally condemn these series, but there's no denying they've accumulated quite the negative view over the years. Number 10. Platinum End. When an anime fumbles the ball so badly it has fans questioning whether the creator's previous masterpiece was a fluke, it's usually a bad sign.
今地上には13人の神候補がいて、それぞれ天使がついてるの。は？そして翼や矢が与えられて、その中からたった一人だけ新しい神様にふさわしい人を選ぶの。
You would think a dark, supernatural bloodbath filled with moral ambiguity would be a surefire win for the team who brought us Death Note. But alas, Platinum End doesn't so much soar as it crashes and burns with weak characters, an uninteresting conflict, and an ending so devastatingly stupid it boggles the mind it made it past the first draft. Number 9. Uzumaki.
嫌な音だ。俺の耳の中をかき回しやがる。あの陰鬱な海。邪悪な黒い灯台。
Ironic that the works of horror extraordinaire Junji Ito, famous for their portrayal of misfortune and terrible outcomes, has had every attempt at an anime adaptation meet a similar fate. And the worst of the bunch is sadly based on his most iconic title. While starting off with a surprisingly decent starter, behind-the-scenes debacles resulted in the following episodes suffering immensely in the animation department, falling well below par. Keep in mind this series was only 4 episodes long, and yet every second seemed to be a struggle. Fans of the source material loathed it, and general anime fans ridiculed it, leaving Adult Swim with a serious amount of egg on their face. Number 8. Redo of Healer. Another day, another example of I can't believe it's not hentai. While we're always down to enjoy the vulgar exploits of a smutty anime so long as it brings something entertaining to the table, Redo took things in a far more violent direction. Following the antics of a vengeful magic caster, he decides to get even with those who belittled, imprisoned, and tortured him by doing a lot of heinous stuff.
体を重ねたら思い出すかもしれない。いつものようにおねだりしてごらん。
Let's just say a lot of taboo content was thrown around, and it made a lot of watchers very uncomfortable. It still confuses many that this managed to get an adaptation.
何かすごく悪いこと考えてませんか、ギャルガ様。
This is indeed the furthest thing you'd expect to show up on TV. Harems? Yes. A Dungeons & Dragons Diddy Party? Not so much. Number 7. Dragon Ball GT.
Wow, the room got a lot bigger somehow.
Time may have been kinder to GT, but for a long stretch, this was the worst thing to come out from under the Dragon Ball banner. It made Goku a kid again, yet didn't have the sense of whimsy of the original. The battles and villains fell well short of Z, not to mention it didn't have any of the source material to follow. The result was an intergalactic adventure that never managed to reach the heights of its predecessors in any real aspect.
Now, laugh at this!
The most it's contributed to the canon is Super Saiyan 4, which is awesome, and Vegeta's mustache, which was not awesome.
I shaved my mustache, you idiot! Duh!
Number 6. Sword Art Online. The meteoric rise in popularity of SAO meant there was going to be a lot of detractors.
この剣を抜くたびに心の中で私のことを思い出してね。
Some complained Kirito was a bland lead living out a power fantasy, and the sprinklings of sexual violence got the series a lot of flack. As such, hating SAO became as much of a personality trait as being a fan of it, and the internet was rife with conflict. By the time Alicization came out, no one on that side of the argument was willing to give it a try, which is kind of a shame because that arc is genuinely very good.
キリト君も早く脱いでよ。私だけ恥ずかしいよ。
Number 5, Darling in the Franxx. We can appreciate what Studio Trigger were trying to do here.
君を味合わせて。今から君が僕のダーリンだ。
Combining their talent for mecha anime with a story that tackles some pretty heavy themes in regards to child soldiers, trauma, and sexual repression. While there are moments where all these pieces coalesce, certain choices and the overarching plot prevented Zero Two and company from rising higher.
故に巨竜の姫がインプラントした場合には爆弾とガスコードを仕掛けた。
サイは投げられたのだ。
The love triangles were painful, some of the characters acted so repulsively they started trending,
けど
and the ending, yeah, let's just say it left a lot to be desired. Number 4, Promised Neverland Season 2.
自由になろう。
Had it been a self-contained season featuring a bunch of orphans fleeing their home and encountering the wider world of demons, this handful of episodes would have gone down as nothing more than a messy misfire.
ママたちにも人間の世界で家族を守ってほしい。みんなをお願い。
Unfortunately, it's also the sequel to one of the most intriguing and riveting anime to come out in the last decade, so anticipation was sky high for a sequel, and then everyone watched it and it all fell apart.
私、鬼を殺したくない。
Condensing so many volumes worth of story into so few episodes was a recipe for disaster from the get-go, but even those who weren't familiar with the source material could tell that the pacing and plot points were all over the place, all capped off by one of anime's biggest stinkers of a finale.
ただいま、みんな。
Number 3, Rent-A-Girlfriend. The real question we should be asking ourselves is, can we really imagine a world without Rent-A-Girlfriend? Where would we be as a society if we didn't get to experience the breadth of one simp's journey as he struggles to somehow balance multiple love interests and still fail at life? Well, in the eyes of many viewers, this show is the worst thing to arise from the romantic comedy genre, courtesy of its protagonist being one big waste of life.
私、更しなるかは宣誓します。お二人の関係並びに水原千鶴さんのご職業については今後一切口外しないと。和也君が私と付き合ってくれるなら。
Well, the only thing it's good for is the innumerable meme material it produces. On the other hand, you have people who think the melodrama rules and the whole thing is just a good time. Not saying what side I'm on, but I will say that Mummy is my wife and I will die for Mummy.
困るわ。勝手なことされちゃう。
Number 2, Oreimo. Somewhere buried deep underneath the layers of toxicity and incest, there's actually a decent anime here, with real charm and romantic tension between some of its cast.
聞き捨てならないことを言うのね、あなた。
It's just a shame it chooses to focus on a violent brat in the closet about her otakuness, her long-suffering brother, and the telltale signs that they want to bump some serious uglies.
兄弟で恋人やってるそうですね。
That's the premise, and come hell or high water, it's sticking to it no matter how many better alternatives present themselves along the way. It's almost hilarious how much more enjoyable the show would be if Kirino was removed from the equation.
私さ、あんたの妹でよかった。
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Berserk. This could have been the easiest slam dunk of all time. Just follow the manga and ensure that the animation quality is at least semi-decent. That's all any fan could have asked for.
何を笑う。
絵に描いたような答えだな。修道院でお勉強したのか。昔戦場でそっくり同じこと言ってた貴族が女子供ごと町一つ丸焼きにしたぜ。俺が言ってんのはそんな中身すっからかんの置物みてえなクソの役にも立ちゃしねえ神様のことじゃねえよ。
And yet, it failed so spectacularly, we haven't seen a follow-up to this legendary dark fantasy since, which is nuts when you consider how enduring and beloved it is to this day. That's just how terrible the visual quality was. An absolute bastardization that paled in comparison to the hand-drawn splendor of the 90s version. We still hear the clanging in our nightmares. Which of these anime do you think deserve the hate? Let us know in those comments below.
今から君が僕のダーリンだ。